There is a number that predicts whether you'll be alive in 15 years, more accurately than your cholesterol, more accurately than your blood pressure, more accurately than the number on your bathroom scale. It was published in the British Medical Journal. It was confirmed by JAMA. And by the end of the 30-day plan I'm about to show you, you will have moved that number further than most people move in years of expensive medical interventions. I'm saving the data for the moment in the plan when it matters most. And when we get there, you'll understand why every step you take from tomorrow morning forward is buying you time you didn't know was for sale. But first, let me put this in context with something that actually happened. Sarajevo, 1992 through 1996, the longest siege of a capital city in modern warfare. 44 months. The water mains were destroyed in the first weeks. From that point on, residents had only one way to get water: they walked. To communal taps, to breweries with underground springs, to UN distribution points. Sometimes a mile each way, sometimes more. Carrying jugs back uphill through rubble, with snipers in the hills. The people who survived that siege had one thing in common: their bodies could make the walk. Day after day, with weight, under stress. The ones who couldn't, didn't. You don't fail at survival because you didn't buy the right gear. You fail at survival because your body won't let you do what your brain is screaming for it to do. I'm Max, and today on Outfox Apocalypse, I'm going to give you the simplest, cheapest, most powerful survival tool that exists: walking. Not walking like you do now. Walking with a structure, walking with progression, walking with a purpose. 30 days, no gym, no equipment over $15. And by day 30, you'll be able to do something that 90% of the people watching this video right now can't. This is the second video in my fitness series. If you missed the first one, 5 tests that predict whether you'll survive a collapse, go watch it after this. Because this plan is specifically designed for the people who took those tests and didn't like what they saw. Let's go. Week 1. The reset. Days 1 through 7. 10 minutes a day. Flat ground. No backpack. Normal clothes. Normal shoes. Walk out your front door, walk for 5 minutes in any direction. Turn around, walk back. That's it. That's the entire workout for the first week. I know how that sounds. 10 minutes. Flat. No weight. That's not a workout. That's a stroll. And that's exactly the point. Because if you've been sitting for the last 20 years, the worst thing you can do is start with a 40-minute power walk and a weighted vest. Your hips will quit. Your knees will quit. Your back will quit. You'll be sore for 3 days. You'll skip day 4. And the plan will be dead before you finished week 1. I've seen this fail 100 times. Week 1 is not about fitness. Week 1 is about installing a habit. The same time every day. Right after coffee. Right before breakfast. Whatever fits. The clock starts when you walk out the door and stops when you walk back in. 10 minutes. Done. And here's the science. According to the CDC's physical activity guidelines, even 150 minutes of light walking per week, about 22 minutes a day, produces measurable improvements in cardiovascular function, blood pressure, blood sugar, and mood. We're starting at less than that. Because the goal of week 1 isn't fitness. The goal is showing up. The longest lived populations on Earth, the so-called blue zones identified by demographic researchers, share exactly one habit that everyone agrees on. Daily walking, not exercise, not gym, just walking. Sardinian shepherds in Italy walk 5 to 10 miles a day for their entire working lives, and many of them live well past 100. Okinawan elders walk to their gardens. The villagers of Ikaria walk to their neighbors. The data on walking and longevity isn't complicated. The hard part isn't understanding it. The hard part is doing it tomorrow morning, and the day after, and the day after that. Survival translation for week 1. Can you walk to your nearest gas station? your nearest pharmacy, your nearest grocery store? Most Americans live within a mile of all three. If your car won't start, your phone is dead, and you need supplies, Week 1 trains you to make that walk without thinking about it. Week 2, the climb. Days 8 through 14, 20 minutes a day. Same flat route, but now you find one hill, one staircase, or one flight of stairs, and you incorporate it into your walk. If you live in Florida and there are no hills, find a parking garage. Walk the ramp. If your building has stairs, take them once during your walk, just once. The goal is to push your heart rate above resting for at least 60 seconds during the walk. Why hills? Why stairs? Because the moment your heart rate goes above 120 beats per minute, your body starts adapting differently. Bill Hartman, a physical therapist with 30 years of experience working with men over 40, calls this the capacity zone. It's where your cardiovascular system stops idling and starts upgrading. Heart muscle thickens slightly. Capillary density increases. Mitochondria, the energy factories inside every cell, start multiplying. None of that happens at a stroll. All of it happens on the climb. How do you know you're in the right zone? The talk test. If you can sing while walking, you're going too easy. If you can't speak in full sentences, you're going too hard. If you can speak in short sentences, breathe a little harder than normal. You're right where you need to be. That's it. No heart rate monitor needed. Just your own voice. Survival translation for week 2. Apartment building. Fire on the 3rd floor. Power's out, elevator's dead, smoke is starting to fill the stairwell. You're on the 8th floor. Can you get down and then back up if your spouse is still up there without your legs giving out? Or water main break. Water cut to your building. The community distribution point is set up in the parking lot of the church up the hill. Half a mile, uphill. Carrying empty jugs. Coming back with full ones. That's a week 2 walk in real time. Week 3. The load. Days 15 through 21. 20 minutes a day, your usual route, plus the hill from week 2. But now you put 5 pounds in a backpack, a bottle of water, and a hardcover book, a bag of rice. Whatever you have. 5 pounds on your back while you walk. This is the week that separates a walking habit from a survival skill. Because here's the truth, walking unloaded is not what you'll be doing in a crisis. You'll be carrying water, tools, a child, a pet, a wounded family member. The moment you put weight on your back, every muscle in your posterior chain, the ones that hold you upright, has to work. Your glutes, your erector spinae, your traps, your core. Your shoulders learn how to support a load. Your hips learn how to handle uneven distribution. This is called rucking, and humans have been doing it for as long as humans have existed. The Inca built an empire on it. Runners called chasquis carried messages and goods across 25,000 miles of mountain roads at 10,000 feet of elevation, on foot, with packs. Roman legionnaires marched 20 miles a day with 60 pounds of equipment. The U.S. Army's foot march standards still require soldiers to cover 4 miles in 1 hour with 35 pounds of gear. That's not punishment. That's the most validated form of functional fitness ever developed by any military organization on Earth. And the research has caught up. Peer-reviewed studies on weighted walking show improvements in bone density, posture, lower body strength, and cardiovascular endurance that match or exceed traditional gym-based training. With one piece of equipment, a backpack, that you already own. If you've ever worked construction, carried lumber, hauled groceries up an apartment staircase, or moved furniture for a living, your body already knows what science is just catching up to. Carrying weight while moving is the most natural form of exercise that has ever existed. We just stopped doing it when we invented the chair. And we're getting close now. Close to that number I told you about in the first 30 seconds of this video. The one that predicts your survival better than any blood test in the lab. We're almost there. Survival translation for week 3. Hurricane. Power's out for a week. The grocery store is open, but no cards work, and the line is around the block. You have to walk a mile each way, carrying back whatever you bought. Or you bug out from your apartment to your car parked 3 blocks away with a backpack full of essentials: water, documents, first aid, a change of clothes. That's 20 pounds on your back, walking through chaos. If you've never carried 5 pounds for 20 minutes, you're going to drop the bag and leave half of it behind. Or worse, you're going to make it 3 blocks, sit down, and not get back up. Week 4, the march. Days 22 through 30, 30 minutes a day. Mixed terrain, flat, hills, stairs, gravel if you can find it, grass, dirt, 10 to 15 pounds in your backpack. And one day during this week, pick the day, doesn't matter which, you do a single longer walk. 1 hour, same load, just to know you can. This is where you graduate from. I exercise. 2, I'm prepared. Because the difference between surviving a crisis and being a victim of one isn't 90 minutes of cardio in a gym. It's the simple, boring, repeatable ability to put one foot in front of the other while carrying weight for as long as you need to, in whatever conditions you're handed. And the body adapts faster than most people believe. Studies on previously sedentary adults show measurable improvements in cardiovascular fitness, VO2 max, the body's ability to process and use oxygen, within just 4 to 8 weeks of consistent walking. Not running, not gym work, walking. Add weight, and the adaptations accelerate. The biology isn't the bottleneck. Showing up is the bottleneck. There is no other secret. Anyone who tells you different is selling you something. And now, here it comes, the number I've been holding back since the first sentence. Walking pace. A study published in the British Medical Journal and a parallel meta-analysis published in JAMA covering over 34,000 adults found that the speed at which you naturally walk down the street predicts how long you'll live more accurately than most of the blood tests your doctor runs. People who walk at brisk pace, about 3 to 4 miles per hour, the speed where you're breathing harder than normal but can still hold a conversation, live, on average, 15 to 20 years longer than people who walk at a slow pace. 15 to 20 years. Read that again. 15 to 20 years. Not because brisk walkers are healthier in some other way. Researchers controlled for that. Smoking, BMI, age, occupation, prior health conditions, all accounted for. Walking pace is its own independent predictor. And the most important finding is this: walking pace is trainable. It improves with practice. Every single day, you walk with a slightly faster cadence, slightly heavier load, slightly steeper terrain. You're literally extending your life expectancy. Not metaphorically, measurably. Now think about what that means for survival. The person who can walk a 15-minute mile is operating in a completely different reality from the person who walks a 25-minute mile. In a 4-mile evacuation, the fast walker arrives an hour earlier, an hour with daylight, an hour before the lines form at the rally point, an hour before the weather changes, an hour before the situation gets worse. Speed is survival, and speed is built one walk at a time. By day 30 of this plan, your walking pace will have improved. I can't tell you how much, because everyone starts differently. But it will improve, and every % of improvement is buying you time on the most important investment account that exists, the one labeled years remaining. Now, one more thing, and I want you to actually pay attention to this part, because it's the single cheapest upgrade you can add to everything I just described. Walking poles. You've seen them everywhere. Hikers use them. The military uses them. Older people use them on park trails and city sidewalks. And most people think they're just for hikers and grandparents. They're wrong about both. Walking poles, Nordic walking poles, trekking poles, whatever you want to call them, are one of the most studied, validated, and underused pieces of fitness equipment ever invented. Here's what the research actually says. A meta-analysis covering 22 studies and over 1,200 subjects, average age 62, found that Nordic walking improves dynamic balance, lower body strength, aerobic capacity, and quality of life more than regular walking. Not slightly more, significantly more. And here's the number that surprises everyone. Nordic walking burns up to 67% more calories than regular walking. Same speed, same distance. 67% more energy expenditure. Because you're recruiting your shoulders, your arms, your back, and your core into every step. Walking with poles isn't a leg workout. It's a full body workout that happens to look like walking. And then there's your knees. Going downhill creates compressive forces on your knees that are 3 to 4 times higher than walking on flat ground. 3 to 4 times. Studies on knee joint loading show that walking poles can reduce those forces by up to 25%. 25% less stress every step on the joint that the average American replaces twice in their lifetime. If you have bad knees, and most people watching this do, walking poles might be the cheapest knee surgery you'll ever buy. They cost $20 to $40. Knee replacement costs $50,000. But here's the part nobody talks about, the survival angle. A walking pole is also a defensive tool. A weapon if you need it. An improvised club. Animal deterrent. A swung pole stops most aggressive dogs and discourages most aggressive humans. It probes the depth of water you're about to wade into. It tests the ground in front of you in the dark. It becomes a splint for a broken ankle in an emergency. It becomes a tent pole. It becomes a lever to move debris. It hangs gear from. It marks a trail. The Inca chasquis I mentioned earlier carried staffs for exactly these reasons. Roman legionnaires carried pila, pole spears. Shepherds in every culture on Earth have carried staffs for 10,000 years. We forgot why. The research is just reminding us. What to buy? Don't overthink it. Sweet spot is $25 to $40 on Amazon or at any sporting goods store. Cascade Mountain Tech makes reliable poles under $30. Trichology and FitLife are also solid budget options. I'll warn you, there are poles on Amazon for $15, but the reviews on those are honest. People say they collapse and telescope shorter and shorter under any real weight. If you're going to buy, spend the extra $10. Get the ones that won't fail you on a hill at hour 2. Aluminum or carbon fiber. Adjustable height. Rubber tips for pavement. Removable to expose carbide tips for dirt and ice. That's the entire shopping list. And here's the part that I love. You don't even have to buy them. Walk into any patch of woods, find a sturdy fallen branch about as tall as your hip. Strip the small twigs off. Tie 2 loops of paracord, rope, or even old shoelaces near the top. One for your hand to grip. One to slide your wrist through so you don't drop it. That's a walking pole, free. Used by every shepherd in human history. The Inca chasquis I mentioned earlier carried staffs exactly like this, wood, with a leather grip wrap. Pastors in the Bible carried staffs. Pilgrims walking the Camino de Santiago for 1,000 years carried wooden walking sticks. The fancy aluminum poles work better, but the wooden stick from your backyard works 90% as well, and it costs you nothing. Now, listen, and this part is important. If you already have problems with your knees, your hips, your lower back, or your circulation in your legs, this isn't a nice to have. This is the most valuable thing in this entire video for you. A study published on people with mild to moderate lower back pain found that walking with Nordic poles reduced the load on the spine and reduced pain after 8 weeks. 8 weeks. The mechanism is simple. When your arms and shoulders take part of your body weight through the poles on every step, your spine, hips, and knees take less. Less compression, less impact, less pain. And here's the bonus that nobody talks about. When you walk with poles and engage your upper body, your blood circulation improves throughout your entire body, not just your legs. More muscles working means more blood pumping. For people with poor circulation in the lower extremities, diabetes, peripheral artery disease, age-related vascular stiffness, getting the upper body involved in walking can do more for your legs than walking alone. Counterintuitive, but that's what the research shows. If you're starting at week 1 of this plan and you have any history of joint pain, back pain, or balance problems, get the poles before you take your first walk, or grab a stick from the woods, either one. They turn a 10-minute walk into a full-body workout. They protect every joint below your waist, they improve your circulation, and they double as a tool you'll be glad you have if the world ever stops making sense. Here's the full picture of the plan. Week 1, 10 minutes a day, flat, no weight. Install the habit, show up. Week 2, 20 minutes a day. Find a hill or stairs. Breathe harder than normal. Use the talk test. Get into the capacity zone. Week 3, 20 minutes a day. Same route plus hill, 5 pounds in a backpack. Start carrying. This is where civilians become survivors. Week 4, 30 minutes a day. Mixed terrain, 10 to 15 pounds. One longer walk during the week, 60 minutes. Just to prove to yourself you can. Total cost, $0 if you already own a backpack. Maybe $15 for a basic day pack from any store. Total time, less than an hour a day during the hardest week. Total result, a body that can carry itself out of trouble. Here's what you do tomorrow. Set an alarm for 10 minutes earlier than usual. When it goes off, get up, get dressed, walk out your front door, walk for 5 minutes, turn around, walk back. That's day 1. That's it. Don't try to be impressive. Don't try to walk fast. Don't add weight. Don't pick a hill. Just walk for 10 minutes and come home tomorrow. Then do it again the day after, and the day after that, 7 days in a row. By the end of week 1, you will have walked 70 minutes more than the version of you who didn't watch this video. By the end of day 30, you will be a different person. Not because of the walking, because of the showing up. If you have knee replacements, joint problems, balance issues, start at 5 minutes instead of 10. If you're in a wheelchair or using a walker, the same principles apply with seated cardio movements. I have a video coming at that specifically. If your physician has restricted your activity, talk to them first. This plan is designed to be the floor, not the ceiling. Adapt down, adapt up. The progression is what matters, not the specific numbers. I've got more fitness videos coming. Specific exercise routines you can do from a chair. A breakdown of why most workout programs are destroying your body after 40. The breathing technique that fixes back pain. Subscribe so you don't miss them. The pack shares knowledge. That's how we survive. Comment what week you're starting on. Tag a friend you want to do this with. Walking is better with somebody. And come back in 30 days and tell me what changed. Because the most expensive piece of gear in the world cannot save a body that won't move. And the cheapest piece of gear in the world, your own 2 feet, will save you every time, if you just use them. Everything in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you have heart conditions, joint replacements, balance issues, or any medical condition that affects exertion, consult your physician before starting any walking program. Start slow, listen to your body, and never push through sharp pain. This plan is a starting framework, not a substitute for medical advice. Stay safe. Max out.